Armenia, a small but attractive country with a rich history, is becoming a global tourist attraction. Armenia's natural landmarks are the most stunning in Europe, with the summit of Mount Ararat, which casts its shadow over the country's horizon. This mountain is the national symbol of Armenia, and the Bible refers to Mount Ararat, where Noah's Ark landed. Armenia was the first country to declare Christianity as its national religion. The country is home to countless beautiful churches, often built in pristine nature. The capital of Armenia, Yerevan, is one of the fastest growing cities in all of Europe and welcomes tourists from all over the world. What are the famous churches of Armenia? The Catholic Church of Saint Mary of Yerevan, the Cathedral of Saint Gregory the Illuminator, the Cathedral of Saint Sarkis, and the Church of Saint Astvatsat in Nork are among the most famous churches in Armenia. What are the famous parks of Armenia? Where to go to see the most beautiful museums in Armenia? What are the most famous streets in Armenia? Join Alibaba Tourism magazine for a look at some of Armenia's best sites. Walking alleys in the back alleys of Armenia, in addition to seeing historical monuments and sites. Many tourists are interested in shopping in Armenian shopping malls and walking the streets of the destination. Visiting shops and stores, passages and streets acquaints us with the culture of the people of that city and country. Here are some famous places in Armenia for wandering. Azadi Square, just outside the Yerevan Opera House, one of the sights of Armenia, Freedom Square, can be seen. The historic Freedom Square is the main public square in the capital of Armenia. The square is now a shopping area and a place for pedestrians to walk. Azadi Square has a pond and is a great place for people to watch, especially in the nearby park. The interesting greenery of this square gives it a different perspective. One can try a piano covered with grass, a saxophone, or a giant guitar, and admire the happy bronze statue of two famous Armenian composers. The pond of this square turns into an ice rink in winter. There are also numerous cafes and shops and a large car park near Azadi Square. North Street of Yerevan. North Yerevan Street is a pedestrian street that opened in 2007. This street is located in the center of the city and the Kontor district and connects Abovian Street with Azadi Square on Tumanian Street. In fact, this street is located between Republic Square and the Opera House. It is 450 meters long and 27 meters wide. This street, which is one of the sights of Armenia, houses luxurious residential buildings, high-end commercial shops, commercial offices, coffee shops, hotels, restaurants, and nightclubs. Walk down this street in the evening. You can see street musicians and enjoy listening to their music. North Street is a place where you can feel the Armenian spirit. The architecture of this street is Armenian, neither European nor Soviet. You will enjoy seeing its modern and unique architecture to the fullest. Abovian Street. If you want to walk in the heart of Yerevan, what better place than Abovian Street? This street is another place of interest in Armenia. Abovian Street was known as Staffian Street between 1868 and 1920. This street leads from the Central Republic Square to the statue of the prominent Armenian writer Khachatur Abovian, 1809 to 1848. This street was named Abovian in honor of this artist. Abovian Street is the first planned street in the capital of Armenia. Vian is mostly home to cultural and educational institutions, luxury residential buildings, shops of famous and prominent brands, commercial offices, coffee shops, hotels, restaurants, and nightclubs. Of course, restaurants and coffee shops, brand stores and clubs are the main components of this street. If you are tired of walking, all you have to do is sit on the benches on either side of the street, eat ice cream and enjoy the local music and dance performed on the street. Mashstat Street, known as Lenin Street between 1924 and 1990, is a street and one of the sights of Armenia. This street is located in the central part of Yerevan. Mashstat Street is more than 6 kilometers long and is one of the tallest streets in Armenia. It also intersects with the two main streets of Yerevan, namely Tumanian and Emirian. Mashstat connects the north and south of Yerevan and begins with the Victory Bridge in the south and ends at the Matenadaran Museum in the north. This street has heavy traffic most of the day and night due to heavy traffic. But it can be a good destination as an evening walk. It also has many historical and cultural monuments and shopping malls. Important historical monuments are located in the heart of this street, among which we can mention the Blue Mosque, Eduard Izabekian Gallery, Yerevan Opera House, Miri Cinema, Presidential Residence and Yerevan State Marriott Theatre. Railway station. The railway station is located south of downtown Yerevan, about 2.8 kilometers from Republic Square. It also connects to the adjacent David Sassoon metro station via a pedestrian tunnel. Built in the 1950s, this station is a great relic of Yerevan's past. In 2010, the railway station was rebuilt. During the reconstruction of the station space, LCDs were installed with train schedule information for passengers. Also, Yerevan Railway Station, which is one of the sights of Armenia and resembles an inn. The interior of the station is mostly white with a beautifully decorated ceiling. There are gardens on each side of the station and even a restaurant in this space will host you. Every time you visit this station or even walk next to it, you feel like you are in the 1930s or 40s. Those interested in Soviet history, art or architecture are advised to visit this station. The station has certain traditional elements of Armenian design and culture. Republic Square of Yerevan. A symbol of Armenia's independence. Republic Square of Yerevan is the division of Taksim Square for Istanbul. However, the division in fame and popularity has gone far beyond. Republic Square is the most famous square in Yerevan and one of the main symbols of this city, where many celebrations and ceremonies are held. The celebration of Armenia's independence is also held every year on December 21, October, in this glorious square. Formerly known as Lenin Square. The statue was erected on the 20th anniversary of the Soviet presence in Armenia. But after Armenia gained independence, Lenin's monument was no longer in the square and was removed. Architecture of Yerevan Republic Square. The square has two oval and trapezoidal sections, the design of which is inspired by the design of Armenian carpets. In the trapezoidal section, musical fountains have been installed, which create a tourist-friendly atmosphere at night with lighting and dancing fountains. The ridges around the square, which are more like the image of Armenia in our minds, are made of special pink and white stones, tufa. The architectural style of the buildings around the square is neoclassical, and its Armenian designs and elegance stand out around the square. The clock in the government building shows the time from Moscow, the same period when Armenia was in Soviet hands. The National Gallery and History Museum are also around the square. Opera House. Yerevan Opera House was built in 1933 by Alexander Tumanyan, a famous Armenian designer and architect. A magnificent and unobtrusive opera house, which includes two concert halls of Aram Khachaturian with 1,400 seats and the National Opera and Ballet of Alexander Aspandarian with 1,200 seats. An exceptional place where you can enjoy both ballet and musical performances, as well as symphonic and piano solos. The Opera House is right in front of Azadi Square. There are many restaurants near this place that are very suitable for gathering family and friends. Ancient Library of Yerevan. A library dating back to history. This library is one of the most important literary treasures not only in Armenia but in the whole world. A foundation called Matnadaran has collected ancient manuscripts in Armenian and Persian, Greek, Arabic, Syriac, Hindi and 17,000 special manuscripts can be seen in this library. If until now you only read in historical books that the kings commanded, now here you can see some of the commands of the Safavid kings in the handwriting of the king himself. In front of the library you see a statue of Mashtots teaching the alphabet to a teenager. Mashtots is the one who made the Armenian alphabet. After the stairs you will reach the big copper door that leads you into the library. Inside the museum, ancient manuscripts of Romans, Iranians, Arabs and Armenians can be seen.